My people, so much has been going on in the hip-hop community, and let me apologize to y'all because I owe y'all so much news, including an overdue Carter 6 review. I know at this point the album is a few weeks old already, but I did write down some notes that I wanted to go over with you guys. But first, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoy this type of content, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button, click the bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos just like this. But let's get right into it. First and foremost, please forgive the noise. They are doing some mowing. I'll do my best to edit some of the noise out in post. At this point, I know the Carter 6 is a few weeks old, but I still have a review for you guys. I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of the album overall. A lot of the longtime fans were saying that they didn't care for the production. That was kind of the main gripe across the board that I noticed. I did have a little bit more detailed notes in terms of the album, so I'm going to kind of look down at my notes and tell you guys what I noticed. So from the intro, the first actual song, Welcome to the Carter, the sample itself built up a lot of anticipation. When the beat drops, it was a little bit underwhelming, but immediately Wayne being Wayne, he was all over the beat. I feel lyrically he has not lost a step, definitely got busy on it, but I feel like he overpowered the sample. If you notice, there's parts of it that he's more on top of the beat and the beat is almost trying to catch up to him. On this record, I can see why people made that complaint because he was just overpowering the music. I don't think the music was big enough to kind of match what Wayne was doing lyrically on that record. I think it's a solid joint, but I definitely understand the criticism. The bells, basically the Rock the Bells, LL homage track, wasn't really feeling that too much. Hip hop with Jay Jones and Big X the Plug. Man, listen, Big X the Plug, he's definitely grown as one of my favorite artists today. I love to hear him. The song overall though, it sounded like Young Dro / Future type of a joint. That was fire. Let's talk a little bit about like this next joint, Sharks. So I'm gonna say Sharks. I'm gonna say songs like The Days. Sharks specifically is the one that includes Big Sean and Jelly Roll. Overall, solid joint. Love the song structure. It just to me sounds like a song that you would hear on a video game, like on, you know, on some 2K team select screen or something like that, or like a transition screen type of a song. Obviously, you know, they were going for commercial. It does sound very commercial. The hook was snakes ain't always in the grass, sharks ain't always in the water. And that's no slight to Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's a hell of an artist himself. When you think of a Carter album, in my opinion, I can see why people don't care for it because it just doesn't feel like the Carter to me. Same thing with The Days featuring Bono. That joint to me was like a flex to me that he could get Bono on a record more than anything. Again, I wrote down video game sound, beat is okay, kind of reminded me of like the Jay and Linkin Park collab. It had that kind of sound to it, and that's what I wrote down here. The Cotton Candy joint with 2 Chainz, a lot of white girl talk on there, if you know what I'm saying. Fun joint. I'm not particularly into it, but doesn't mean that it wasn't a bop. Flex Up, this is another joint where his cadence was very high level. He was all over the beat. I was definitely feeling that. I just talked to Hov, he told me he see me. Same thing I heard when I talked to Stevie. I thought the joint was solid. Island Holiday, so another theme that I noticed was like where he was remixing something or he was redoing something. Island Holiday, to me, in my personal opinion, sounded like an idea that he had that was gonna be scrapped and he just ended up keeping it. I'm not trying to shit on it or, you know, be funny or nothing like that. Loki's theme was a complete skip for me. I ain't gonna hold you. If I played guitar with the singing and stuff like that, this definitely sounded like a parody to me. I literally wrote down like a Drake song gone wrong. Peanuts to an Elephant. This was the joint that a lot of people were talking about. I think it was a solid joint. I didn't go as crazy as everybody else. Sounds like some Elephant type vibe. The production sounds heavy. Beat is solid. The heavy production, like I said, it goes with the theme. People saying that this was one of the best songs on the album. And yes, compared to some of the other joints on this album, I can see why people think so. Rivalry featuring Cameron Carter, which I found out was one of his sons. That's a fun joint. I thought the hook was really dope. Maria featuring Wyclef and Andrea Bocelli. Didn't care for the song. I ain't gonna hold you. I skipped right over that one. Being Myself, produced by Manny Fresh. This joint was dope. I thought the sample was fire. Beat was very smooth. The only thing that I wrote on here was, again, I didn't care for the singing with the auto-tune and stuff like that, which he's been doing a lot lately. He's kind of added that auto-tune to his repertoire, and in my personal opinion, I don't think he needs it, but if anybody can do it, it's Wayne. Moolah coming in was a mess. Lil Novi is his son, another one of his boys. I didn't care for the song. It was all over the place, so I skipped right over that one. Alone in the Studio with My Gun, solid joint. Kind of sounds like another video game. The hook was solid. My man Kodak was on this one. You have to really have an ear for Kodak's style in order for you to understand what he's saying, but even even more so on this record. It was more difficult than usual to understand him on this one. But overall, solid joint. I didn't go too crazy over it. Written history, I wrote down dope. I feel like the album was solid. I literally land smack dab in the middle. Overall, I can definitely see why fans who were waiting on this probably expecting a Carter 2, 3, 4. I'll even go as far as 5. And this overall just does not feel like a Carter type of project. And that's probably why longtime fans weren't feeling this one as much. Production definitely could have been better. A lot of the commercial joints sounded like they could have been like on a video game or something like that. And then there were some joints that he was like singing on that just kind of came off as parody. So I can see why a lot of people weren't feeling this album. Out of 10, I would literally give it about a 4.5, 5. Like I said, I'm smack dab in the middle with it. That is my review of the Wayne album. That's the first piece of business. On to the next subject. I'm gonna call this segment of the video, Have You Lost Your Damn Mind? And if you've been living under a rock, I am talking about Jim Jones. So Jim Jones recently went on the Jada and Joe podcast. He was going on about how he was having a conversation with his son and how the younger generation does not know Nas. He went on to compare his career in terms of Billboard charts and number of hits and things of that nature, and made the claim that he has more hits than Nas.
Go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them niggas' entries. Pull up Nas' Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is
I want to go down. I want to go down the line now, because now we going down the line. He's a rapper and I'm a rapper.
Listen,
let's go statistically.
Have you lost your damn
but I
mind?
want to go statistically.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was actually proud of how fast the hip hop community came in and got that nigga immediately. Because what are you talking about? In all seriousness, objectively speaking, not only is it not true, and I believe because of the backlash, he later on got back on the internet saying how he did it on purpose, and basically we all took the bait. I leave that up to you guys to interpret whether or not you believe it. The one thing that I will say is, at this point in Jim's career, if you're having to stir up controversy in order to bring attention to a single or a project that you have coming out, that alone shows the difference between where your career is and where Nas's career is. And as of late, not only has Nas been touring, but Nas just came off an incredible 6-album run in 3 years. We hadn't gotten this much music from any artist in quite some time, let alone that artist be Nas. Nas has been on nothing short of a monumental run. I don't think Jim or anybody else can deny that. The first King's Disease album won him his Grammy. He's doing great business. And on Mass Appeal, he's actually helping other artists put out albums. Slick Rick just came out with an album. Ghostface is getting ready to drop. He's getting ready to roll out Raekwon's album. He's super busy and he's helping to promote other artists. Do with that information what you will. Like I said, it just goes to show these two gentlemen are on two totally different trajectories. The fact that Jim is trying to cater to these young folks, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that at this point in your career, in terms of legacy, in terms of what Jim has going on, to try to stir up this style of viral marketing, I think Jim Jones is beyond that point. But do you agree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And last but not least, Timbaland in this AI situation has gone super viral. If you haven't heard, essentially Timbaland has partnered with a company by the name of Suno, which is an AI company, and Timbaland has been importing beats from producers into the Suno software. Timbaland is kind of co-signing this AI producer movement, which inherently is not a bad thing itself. I mean, I use AI, ChatGPT and things like that, but from a producer standpoint, I can definitely see why producers don't like it. On the Suno website or software, basically it is said that you can take any beat from the internet. It did not specify all beats that you have the license for, that you have copywritten consent to use. Any beat on the internet, and you can reproduce, repurpose that music, and that producer not get credit or not get, recognized for their piece of work. I can definitely understand the outrage. So as of right now, there are lawyers involved that have a lawsuit against Suno. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like Timbaland is going through it. Have you heard about this story? If you haven't, go look it up. Just Google K-Fresh and Timbaland and everything will come up. You'll see it. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a broad overview of what the story is. Pusha T and Travis Scott beef? What is that about? I know absolutely nothing about what sparked this. If anybody knows, put it down in the comments below. So much has been going on that I haven't even had time to research what sparked that beef. If you enjoyed today's video, once again, I encourage you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so that you get notified when I post more videos just like this. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.